The bizarre and disturbing moment caught on camera aboard a United Airlines flight. A man dragged off the plane for refusing to give up the seat he had already paid for. He was left bleeding, and his fellow passengers were left stunned. Were any laws broken here? And could this happen to you? They are the shocking images of a passenger caught in a travel nightmare. A man visibly shaken as he's yanked.
Come on. Come on, come on.
And then dragged off a United jet by law enforcement.
Oh my God, look at what you did to him!
All after refusing to give up his seat. Tonight, Chicago aviation security officer put on leave. But for many of the passengers, and for many of the millions who have seen this clip, the question is, how did it get to this point?
It was surreal. No one expected it to happen like that.
It was scheduled to leave Chicago Sunday evening at 5:40. The destination, Louisville, Kentucky. It's when the passengers got on board that the crew started to offer vouchers for a handful of seats.
$800 sounded really nice, and I thought it was unusual that nobody was volunteering, but I think it was because United didn't have another flight out to Louisville until 2 p.m. today.
United clarifying today that the flight was not overbooked. It now says it was a crew transport issue, claiming the passengers were all on board when crew members approached the gate agents. They needed to be in Louisville to work on their own flight. 4 seats would be needed.
Everybody was seated by then, and the fact that they told us that we would not leave until 4 people volunteered, there was just a real sense on the plane that that wasn't right.
With no takers, a United computer picked 4 passengers, offering them $1,000, the airline says. All complied except for this 69-year-old man who said he's a doctor and needed to get home to treat patients.
2 police come in full gear. They tell him that he has to leave the airplane.
John Klassen, the man in the orange shirt here, was sitting right in front of the passenger. He saw and heard it all, he says.
How do you react when the police aren't asking questions, they're just trying to forcibly remove the man? I could not believe what I was seeing or hearing. I was in shock.
And so were other passengers, many of them recording as the officers dragged the man down the aisle.
I have to go home.
But just minutes later, the man slipped back onto the jet before he was removed yet again. United CEO Oscar Munoz calling it an upsetting event and saying that the airline is reaching out to the man to address and resolve this situation. In an internal memo, Munoz elaborating that the man was approached a few more times in order to gain his compliance. Each time he refused and became more and more disruptive and belligerent. The passenger has yet to comment.
United may have been right legally, but morally it's hard to make a case for the way this man was treated. And people are expressing their outrage.
Look at what you did to him!
Yet demanding a paying customer give up a seat is perfectly legal.
It's part of a document that nobody ever looks at called the contract of carriage, which gives basically the airlines, the pilot, the flight attendant, all sorts of rights to pretty much do whatever they want.
This is the second